Thank you for joining me today, and welcome to the Career Series of videos. This series has been put together by Washington State's Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. The idea behind this series is that we will come to you with practical tips and tricks in some very select important topics that will have a lasting impact on your career. Before we start, let's tell you a little bit about myself, your host, Chris Rides. I'm the CEO and founder of Tyro Security, a cybersecurity staffing and professional services firm, launched originally in 2012 out on the West Coast. I'm also an advisory board member for GRACE, that's GRC for Intelligent Ecosystems, a non-profit helping to bring diversity into our industry, UNLV, the Cyber Helpline, of course, Washington State Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, and I also lead the Industry Advisory Board for NSITE, the National Cybersecurity Training and Education Centre. I'm also a cybersecurity career speaker, and you'll have seen me speak at RSA, InfoSec World, ISC2's Security Congress, DEF CON, and many of the B-Sides events, including their big highlight of the year, Las Vegas. Our first topic is building a social media presence. I want to discuss how creating a personal brand on social media, particularly on platforms like LinkedIn, can significantly impact your career. In our increasingly connected world, establishing a strong personal brand is essential. First and foremost, a well-crafted personal brand helps to elevate your professional visibility. In a competitive job market, it's vital to stand out, and a distinguished presence on LinkedIn allows potential employers and clients to discover you more quickly, something that can set you apart from the crowd. Building your personal brand opens the door to numerous networking opportunities. Connecting with professionals in your industry can expand your network, leading to valuable collaborations, insightful referrals, and even job opportunities that may not be advertised publicly. The people you engage with today can become the influential figures who support your career tomorrow. This credibility enhances your professional reputation and increases your chances of career advancement, as employers are more likely to trust and seek out those perceived as knowledgeable and reliable. Let's consider the direct implications for job opportunities. Many recruiters turn to LinkedIn to find candidates who fit their needs. A profile that accurately represents your brand, showcasing your skills, achievements, and unique qualities, makes you more attractive to potential employers searching for talent like yours. As you develop your brand, you can also highlight your skills and accomplishments. This is your chance to make a compelling case for your value in the marketplace, demonstrating precisely what you bring to employers or clients. Engaging with industry trends is another vital component of building your personal brand. By participating in discussions and sharing relevant content, you stay informed about what's happening in your field, and you illustrate your commitment to professional growth. This ongoing engagement reflects a proactive attitude that employers greatly value. Finally, regularly interacting on social media helps hone communication skills. The more effectively you share your thoughts and ideas, the more adept you get at articulating your message. That's an invaluable skill in any career path. Creating a personal brand on platforms like LinkedIn is not just about self-promotion. It's about building a professional identity that resonates with your goals. I encourage you to take proactive steps to tailor your profiles. You've got to share meaningful content, and you must engage authentically with others. Your brand is a powerful tool that can open doors and pave the way for a thriving career. Right, let's look at the key strategies. Using a high-quality professional photo. Look, your photo is the first thing that people see when they go to your profile. If you decide to use a photo, and I would encourage you to use one, and I always recommend you go for something very professional. That doesn't mean that you're not authentic. If you have pink hair or a mohawk, show them off. There's plenty of people in our industry that do. However, what I would say is that you try and think about the background of your photo. You think about what you're wearing, because what you want is a client that looks at you and thinks, I can see this person representing our company. So I would recommend that you dress smarter than you think you need to be. It's better to always be overdressed than underdressed, much like in an interview. Also, you don't actually have to pay for a professional headshot. Personally, I really like the portrait mode on the iPhone. I make sure that I've got a nice plain background. The results, I think, have been great. So there's no need to spend a lot of money on doing this. But just remember, if you do decide to go with a photo, and one of the reasons why I believe that that's the right thing to do is because you want somebody to feel a connection to you, and actually seeing you before they speak to you is a way of building that. Just make sure it's clear, professional, and it reflects your personal brand. The next thing you should do is make sure you write a compelling headline. Your headline should describe who you are, what you do, succinctly and engagingly, and ensure it's formatted correctly, just like the examples below. The reason that a compelling headline is important with LinkedIn is it features high on the results of any searches that are done. If you want to ensure that you end up high in any search results from recruiters and hiring managers, you want to make sure that you get your headline correct. You should ensure that it describes exactly who you are and what you do. It's got to be very succinct and engaging. And it's very important to be formatted correctly. This helps with how these are viewed in the results. If you see below, I've given you a couple of examples. The next tip is to customize your LinkedIn URL. This seems like an obvious idea, but you'll be surprised how many people have not already done this. By having a customized URL, it makes it much easier to find and of course looks much more professional. So how do you personalize your LinkedIn URL? Well, currently, and of course formatting might change, but if you go to your profile and you click to view profile, you then can click edit public profile and URL. It's usually on the right hand side of the page. Under the pencil icon next to your URL, you can type in your desired URL in the text box and then save it. And that's it, done. In terms of how you should personalize it, well, I never thought I'd have to really say this, but let's keep it professional. And it makes sense to use your full name, separated by dashes. Of course, if you don't want to put your full name out there for security reasons, and some people don't, then put your first name and initial. You can add even a keyword to your industry if you really like to, or if you have a brand name, you can even use that. I know somebody that has many followers on X, or Twitter as I still call it, and their LinkedIn URL name is their Twitter name. If your name is common, you can actually try adding a middle initial or perhaps a nickname. But again, let's make it professional. And avoid using any special characters, symbols or spaces. And my advice is you'd like to keep it as short as possible. That makes it much more memorable. You need to make sure that you write a strong summary. Your summary should briefly overview your professional background, skills and accomplishments. This is a great opportunity to sell yourself. It's time to be proud of all of your achievements, so make sure you've got these on here. The other tip is to be specific. You want it to really hit home. Think about the types of jobs that you're going for and think about the relevant achievements and accomplishments that would fit those type of roles. Make sure you talk about yourself and what you personally have done and not what the team has achieved. If you were involved as part of a team, talk about what you personally done to achieve the end goals. Now, don't be scared to use AI tools to craft something that sounds professional but is concise. However, a warning with this and the use of any type of AI is ensure it's authentic and it actually sounds like you. Make sure it is personal. When somebody reads this, hopefully at some point they're going to get to meet you in an interview and they want to know that that summary they read does feel like something that you personally would say. The next section to focus on is where your work experience is. You want to make sure you include your most recent and relevant work experience, your key achievements and your responsibilities. I realise many of the people on here may not yet have had a commercial job. It's here that you'll talk about any internships. Also, any projects that you've been involved in. If you've gone out and helped small companies or non-profits with their cybersecurity, that's where you'd want to put this information. My advice with this section is that you want to make sure that where you have had internships, or perhaps have been employed, you want to make sure those dates are accurate and they match what you have in your resume. Wherever possible, I would also recommend putting quantifiable accomplishments. Now, as you get more experience, these may be easier to do. I would recommend that you keep these clear and concise descriptions, and you use that concise language to describe your work experience, including highlighting any of the key responsibilities and achievements that you've had in each of those roles. In a resume, you would make sure that in work experience section that your relevant experience is shown for that particular role. But on LinkedIn, this is more of a generic overview because you will have people looking at this and they could be looking at you for multiple different types of roles. And so you need to ensure that what you keep in here is a generic overview of what you have done in each place. Make sure you use some correct formatting. Think bullet points work really well. And make sure you keep it in chronological order, which I believe LinkedIn will help you do anyway. One of the important things many people forget to do is to close down previous roles. Make sure you keep the end dates up to date. This can make your profile confusing when things overlap. Remember, there will be differences between this work experience on your LinkedIn profile and your resume. As I mentioned earlier, your resume will be more specific to the role that you're applying for. Therefore, I would recommend going into more detail in your resume and less detail on your LinkedIn. Think about your LinkedIn as being headlines. Most hiring managers will understand that there will be differences between your resume and your LinkedIn. However, I would personally take the time to compare the two and ensure there's nothing that could perhaps raise any red flags. Examples might be dates that don't match, or perhaps roles that don't appear in one place but do appear in other places. The next thing you should do is make sure that you highlight your skills and endorsements. List your top skills and ask for endorsements from colleagues and potential clients to validate your experience. For many of you, perhaps you could also talk to fellow students that you've worked with on projects and ask them to endorse you. Skills will help you with searches and help guide recruiters and connections towards what you personally want to do. Similar to skills, with endorsements, you would like to make sure that they're specific, and for those people that are going to endorse you, perhaps you should reach out to them and talk to them about what you would like to be endorsed for. You want these endorsements to guide people that are seeing this towards the career areas that you would like to work within. So, if you want to work within cybersecurity, but your top endorsements are for something like graphic design, that's probably not going to help your career. Now, in some cases, you may actually need to turn on endorsements within LinkedIn. To do that, you want to click View Profile, scroll down to the Skills section and click the Edit icon. Click the More icon near the upper right and select Endorsement Settings. In the Endorsements pop-up window, you can now manage how you receive and give your skill endorsements by switching the toggle to Yes or No on the right of the option. Sometimes endorsements won't show up, and there are daily endorsement limits set by LinkedIn. So if you go on a large endorsement push, just be aware that you can only endorse so many people per day. And so not all of those may show up on LinkedIn. Showcase your achievements. Share examples of your work, projects, awards, and publications to demonstrate your skills and accomplishments. You can actually do a link to your portfolio or website if you have one. To do that, you go into the Edit Intro page and you scroll down and tap Edit Contact Info under Contact Info. From the Edit Contact Info pop-up window, You can actually add website. So you just tap the add website, copy and paste your website address into the URL field, and choose the website type from the drop down. That will profile it on your main LinkedIn profile. It's also important that you're posting and sharing your accomplishments. We'll talk a little bit more about posting and what you post later on in this discussion. But sharing any achievements that you've made is a great way of letting your network know that your personal and professional development is something that is important to you. There's also a section where you can add your certifications. You just do this from add a section to your profile and you click on view more. Look for certifications and then select add certifications. Make sure you fill in your certification section correctly and then enter the name of your certification. When you're done, click save and people will be able to see it on your profile. Within LinkedIn, there's the ability to be able to join groups. You can engage with others in your industry by joining these LinkedIn groups, and then when you're involved in these discussions and conversations, it's a great way of online networking. There are many different types of groups available. Personally, I'm involved in many groups, and I've even started a few groups as well. So if you can't find the particular group you're looking for, then consider creating your own group. Because if it's an area that you're interested in, you can guarantee there will be other people that will be interested in it too. Now do remember, people can see what groups you join. So you want to make sure they're relevant to your brand and to your interests. Increasing your connections is one of the most important things you can do within LinkedIn. You're going to expand your network by connecting with colleagues, industry professionals, potential clients or employers, and of course, the people that you work on projects with, or if you're at school with them, all of those people need to be part of your LinkedIn network. At the end of this talk, we're going to talk about something that I call the 3-2-1 approach, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, the important thing is when you do request a connection, make sure you add a personal note. When you're connecting with somebody that you don't know, or somebody perhaps that you've only met recently, perhaps only one time, it's a great way to remind them who you are and why you're connecting. People in security are pretty strict about who they connect with, and so adding that personal note can make all the difference. Also, if you've done everything we've discussed in this video so far, your profile should make it really obvious why you're connecting with them. If you're a cybersecurity professional, you've recently finished a cybersecurity degree or master's, all of those things should be on your LinkedIn profile. Your summary should also make it very clear as to why you would want to connect with somebody else in the cybersecurity industry. Now remember, everybody you connect with can recommend you to other people. They can connect you to hiring managers. So remember to connect, don't just follow. Many profiles, including mine, doesn't make it that easy to connect with. If you check on the ellipses just to the side, there is often no connect button. And so where you do need to go is click on the 3 ellipses just to the side, and if you see the drop down there, there's the option to connect and send it with a personal note. Remember, the more extensive your network, the less degrees of separation. You need to connect and interact with the voices in our industry because many of those have many more connections. And if you connect with somebody that has a very large network, you get access to their connections as well. Now, it's taken me many years to build the connections that I have on LinkedIn. If you're watching this video, then connect with me. Make sure you put a note in and let me know that you watched this video, and I would love your feedback as to what you found useful and what has worked for you. Finally, it's really important you stay active. Your LinkedIn profile isn't simply a one and done. It's not something you can just set and leave. You need to ensure that you're regularly updating your profile. You need to make sure that you also share relevant content and you engage with those connections to stay top of their mind and also build your credibility. The number one important thing for this is because you're building your personal brand, and these people that are reading this, hopefully at some point you will meet in person. Therefore, you must be authentic. Now, the very last thing I would like to leave you all with is something that I call the 3-2-1 plan. It's very simple, the idea being that it's something that's memorable and something that you can build in to your daily schedule. So, what is the 3-2-1 plan? First of all, the 3 is a reminder to ensure that you make 3 valuable LinkedIn comments every day. So what's a valuable LinkedIn comment? Ensure you don't just comment, agree, yes, actually engage in a conversation. So when you see a post that you enjoy and that you want to have a conversation with the person about it, ask your question. That's what comments are for. Start conversations, and those people will realize that you're somebody that genuinely is interested, passionate about security, and also somebody that they would probably want to engage with in real life. Hopefully you'll get a chance to do that. So what's the 2 in the 3-2-1 plan? The 2 is a reminder to make at least 2 LinkedIn connection requests every day. Again, remember to add a personal note. Those LinkedIn connection requests are part of you building a purposeful and directed network. So think about the people that you should be connecting with. Some examples I would recommend would be hiring managers, people that look like they would hire for the type of roles that you are applying for. HR and recruiters, people that would be involved in the process of hiring. People that are currently doing the roles that you would wish to move into. They can be great people to connect with, get advice, and also even make recommendations for the different roles that could come up within the businesses that they work for. Finally, the 1 is 1 LinkedIn post per day. And we haven't talked much about posting within this video series. So here is what I would expect from your LinkedIn posts. Firstly, they can absolutely be a share of somebody else's post. However, the important thing when sharing somebody else's post is that you add your thoughts, your feelings, your position on whatever the subject is. Again, you're trying to create conversation and network. It's important that you add your opinion to those reposts. Other things you can share could be things like the latest cybersecurity news with links to where you read about them. Your thoughts and feelings about where things are going in our industry. We mentioned it earlier, but it's really important to share your achievements and the things that you're doing to move your career forward. Again, with this 3-2-1 plan, it does need you to dedicate some time every day to do this. Once you get into the role of things though, you'll find it comes quite naturally and becomes an enjoyable part of you interacting with people online, something that many of us don't get to do now so many people work remotely. So please put this 3-2-1 plan into place and let me know how you get along with it. If you have other things that you found are useful, hey, it can always become a 4-2-1 plan. Finally, I want to thank you all for joining me today on this Cybersecurity Career Series video. I also want to thank the Cybersecurity Centre of Excellence for Washington State for taking the time to put this series of videos together. Thank you all, and please do connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know how you found the advice.